You think you picked up your phone just now because you wanted to. You did not. Somewhere between the last notification and this exact second, a decision was made for you, and you experienced it as free will. That is the trap. And almost nobody watching this has ever questioned it. Never. Here is the claim that will make half of you angry before this video is even finished. The impulse to check your phone is not a desire. It is a trained reflex, built the same way a laboratory animal is trained to press a lever, except your lever has a camera roll and your reward comes disguised as a heart-shaped icon. If that sentence offended you, sit with it, because offense is usually the sound of a wound being touched. For years you have been told the problem is willpower. Try harder. Delete the app. Set a screen time limit. This advice fails almost every single person who follows it, and there is a reason it fails. One that has nothing to do with your character and everything to do with a mechanism most people never learn to see. Your brain runs on a chemical called dopamine, and the biggest misunderstanding about it is that dopamine equals pleasure. It does not. Dopamine is the chemistry of anticipation, the internal signal that says something good might be coming. Keep looking. This is the exact same circuitry that once helped your ancestors track food, opportunity, and social standing across a dangerous landscape. It was never built for danger. It was built for uncertainty. And uncertainty is precisely what a feed of endless, unpredictable content delivers, scroll after scroll, forever. In behavioral science, this is called a variable reward schedule, and it is one of the more consistently observed patterns in the study of learning and motivation. When a reward arrives on an unpredictable pattern rather than a fixed one, the drive to keep checking becomes far stronger than if the reward arrived every single time. A slot machine does not pay out on every pull, neither does your feed. You never know if the next scroll holds nothing or holds the one video, the one comment, the one message that spikes your attention. That unknown is the hook. That unknown is the weapon, and it has been aimed at your nervous system for years without your consent. But here is what almost nobody says out loud, and here is the part that should genuinely unsettle you. This was never framed to you as manipulation. It was framed as convenience, as connection, as free entertainment. That framing is the psychological armor of the system itself, and it has done its job so well that most people will defend the platform that is quietly rewiring them, the same way a person can defend a bad relationship they have been conditioned to depend on. Somewhere in a boardroom, none of this was accidental. Engagement was the metric. Time on screen was the currency. And your attention, the single most limited resource you own, became the product being sold to advertisers while you believed you were simply relaxing. This is not a conspiracy theory. It is stated openly in the business models of these platforms. The only thing hidden was what it would cost you internally, day after day, scroll after scroll. Every time you feel that small itch to check a notification, that is not information you need. It is a conditioned cue, the same category as a bell that once made a dog salivate before food ever arrived. The bell alone was enough. The buzz of your phone alone is enough because your brain has already learned, through thousands of repetitions, that buzz might mean reward. You are not choosing to check. You are responding the way water responds to a slope, always downhill, always the path of least resistance, unless you deliberately reshape the terrain. And this is where most self-improvement content lies to you. It tells you to simply resist the urge through sheer discipline, as if raw willpower can permanently outmatch a system engineered by thousands of behavioral scientists and optimized daily by machine learning. That fight is not a fair one, and losing it is not a personal failure. Losing it is the predictable outcome of ignoring the actual physics of behavior, which is exactly why the real solution is not resistance, it is redesign. Before we go further, understand the deeper cost, because this is the part that rarely gets said. It is not only your time being taken, it is your baseline mood. When your nervous system becomes used to constant small spikes of stimulation, the quiet moments of ordinary life, a walk, a conversation, a task without instant feedback, begin to feel unbearably flat by comparison. That flatness is not boredom in the way you once understood it. It is withdrawal, dressed up as personality, and it convinces you that stillness itself is the enemy, when stillness was never the problem. The manufactured hunger was. If you are still here, you already sense that this goes deeper than screen time. It does. And before I hand you the full protocol to reverse it, understand one thing about psychological armor. Real protection is not built by accident. It is built the same way any skill is built, through deliberate, repeated exposure to the exact pressure you intend to withstand. Subscribing to material like this is not entertainment, it is maintenance. The same way you would not expect a shield to hold up in battle if you never trained with it beforehand. Keep this channel close, because the next weapon aimed at your attention is already in development, and you will want to see it coming before it lands. Now, the protocol. 3 phases. Memorize them, because knowing them once will not change your behavior, but returning to them daily will. Phase 1 is called the gap. Before you touch your phone in response to any impulse, you insert a pause of exactly 10 seconds, no more, no less, and you ask yourself one question, out loud if possible. What did I actually want in this moment? Not what does the app promise? What did I want? 9 times out of 10, the true answer is something the phone cannot give you at all. A break from a hard thought, relief from discomfort, connection with an actual person. Naming that gap between the reflex and the real need is the single most powerful move you can make, because it converts an automatic reaction into a conscious choice. And conscious choice is the one thing the algorithm cannot predict. Phase 2 is called the flat line. For 1 full week, remove every non-essential notification from your phone, not the apps themselves, the notifications. No buzzes, no banners, no red numbers demanding your eyes. This single action dismantles the bell that trained you to salivate before you even chose to look. You will feel a strange, almost uncomfortable quiet during the first few days. That discomfort is not a malfunction. That is your nervous system detoxing from artificial urgency, and it always passes if you let it. Phase 3 is called unpredictable ground. Once the reflex has weakened, you deliberately introduce your own variable reward schedule, but on your terms. Choose specific windows in your day, decided in advance, where checking your feed is fully permitted, and outside those windows the answer is simply no. Calmly, without negotiation. When you control the unpredictability instead of the platform controlling it, you take back the exact mechanism that was once used against you and turn it into a tool that serves your own goals instead of someone else's revenue. Here's the confrontation this video promised you at the start. You believed this entire time that scrolling was your choice, your relaxation, your harmless little habit. It was never entirely yours. Large portions of it were built, tested, and refined by people who profit every single second your eyes remain locked on a screen. That is not an insult to your intelligence. It is a statement about the sheer scale of the system working against you, a system most people never even glimpse because it was designed to stay invisible. Say this back to yourself the next time your hand drifts toward your phone without thought. This impulse is not fully mine until I examine it. That single sentence is worth more than 100 screen time reports, because a number on a settings page cannot think, and you can. You do not need to declare war on technology. You do not need to disappear from every platform and pretend the modern world does not exist. What you need is far simpler and far harder. Awareness sharp enough to catch the reflex before it catches you. A pause long enough to ask what you truly want. And boundaries firm enough that no algorithm, no matter how advanced, can predict your next move with certainty. Because the moment you become unpredictable, you stop being a resource to be harvested, and you start being a person who is fully, deliberately awake inside their own mind. Hold that awareness like armor. Keep it polished, keep it close, and never again let a blinking light decide what your attention is worth.